Welcome to the X Corner. I'm here to add a little mutation to that superhero crew still. I'll be covering the X comics for the week of May 8th, 2019. This week we only have two comics, Age of X-Man Apocalypse and the X-Tracts number 3 and X-Force number 7. Spoilers, of course. We'll start with Age of X-Man Apocalypse and the X-Tracts number 3, written by Tim Seeley, art by Salvador Espen. Omega Red has been going around killing people in the X-Tracts name. Eye-Boy is laid up, so Evan has to stay and look after him while Dazzler and Unveil go to stop Omega Red. Meanwhile, Peter has an art gallery, and he's bringing his newest painting there where he finds Kitty waiting for him. She has seen his art plate all about her. They feel drawn to each other. Back with the X-Tracts, Evan tells Eye-Boy that he's been seeing visions of the real world where Apocalypse is not the free-loving guru he seems to be here. Eye-Boy passes out though, so we don't know what he's seen. Unveil and Dazzler are getting the better of Omega Red by keeping him confused and disoriented, but that can't last long. Back with Peter and Kitty, as they're trying to figure out why they feel an attraction to each other, Apocalypse shows up and out of character attacks Colossus. Colossus pleads with him that he doesn't want to fight, and Kitty is upset too. Apocalypse does a cult leader voodoo on Kitty, telling her that she can't trust anyone but him, and she agrees creepily, as Peter is sprawled out on the floor. Back with the X-Tracts, Omega Red has gotten the upper hand. Evan feels them in trouble and rushes off to help. Dazzler and Unveil are being life-drained as Evan jumps in looking like a mix between Apocalypse and Captain America to fight off Omega Red. This was a pretty good issue of the series. Finally, we're getting a story. I like how Apocalypse has been revealed to be a creepy cult leader. That should be fun if they play that up more. I hope that Eye Guy is okay. When he collapsed when Evan was boring him with his revelation that he sees the real world, I thought he was a goner. I'm not a fan of the choice to make Evan into a Captain America ripoff. Is Cap even in this reality? And why would Evan choose to look like him instead of some mutant hero? He should have been Wolverine or Cyclops. Although, even with a good issue, I still wonder at the point of all these minis. Age of X-Men might be an interesting concept, but to devote so many issues to a story that meanders and has no point, and no real solid story, I can't think it's selling well. How do you sell a bunch of comics when the tagline is that relationships are banned, so free love is the rebellion? Marvel seems to have relented to a bunch of writers wanting to make an indie book, but with Marvel characters. I applaud their balls to try it. But when the X-Men need a boost, this event isn't going to provide it. Maybe they saw the writing on the wall for the X-Men future. They knew that the big reboot button was coming with Disney acquiring the rights back for the X-Men movies. They knew that a solid X book was needed, like Uncanny, which gets lost in all that noise. So they said screw it. It's all going to be soft rebooted at the very least. Let's go crazy and make a non-event event. Where Age of Apocalypse was epic and expanding, we get the Age of X-Men about relationships and free love. Crazy that got past the planning stage. Just shows how little Marvel cares about the current X-Men line. Avengers couldn't do this now. I hope that Hickman can bring back prestige to the line, because right now, it may be pretty good comics, but overall X-Men are a laughingstock of Marvel. Anyway, this comic gets a 7 out of 10. Then we have X-Force 7, written by Ed Brisson, art by Dylan Burnett. It's been days since Kid Cable was taken into the future, and Domino has Deathlock working on re-engineering the time door to work from this end to allow the team to go save their erstwhile leader of sorts. In the future, Strife is torturing Kid Cable and has put a power dampener on him so that the techno-organic virus isn't being held in check by his psychic powers. It's slowly consuming him. Strife wants a location of the Scanny tribe so he can wipe them out. Cable refuses, even when Strife starts to execute his friends. Strife has a backup plan though. He's had one of his psychics unbrainwash Rachel and uses her to call all the Scanny to one place. She's like their Mother Mary figure in the future. The Scanny start their pilgrimage and Strife's Mutant Liberation Army gets ready to ambush and kill them all. Back in time with the X-Force, they're getting restless. Warpath and Boom Boom have a good chat about patience and accepting Kid Cable, while Cannonball and Shatterstar go after a component Deathlock needs for his time door. They clean up a local gang who has the device, but some Iron Man wannabes show up, and Shatterstar and Cannonball are happy for a real fight. They get the device back to Deathlock, who finishes the time door, and X-Force go back to the future to save Kid Cable and maybe save the world too. This was a bit of a setup issue. We get everyone reset and healed up, or tortured and imprisoned, ready for the next arc, where the X-Force kick Strife's butt and get their Kid Cable back. I do like how the team is split on how much they have forgiven Kid Cable for killing Cable, and if he's in fact Cable Reborn. I remember also thinking the art was weird when I first started reading this comic, but now I love it. It is weird, but it's interesting and unique. It reminds me of Bill Sienkiewicz from the old New Mutants, in a way, but just more defined. The comic has been solid if not overwhelming. 7.5 out of 10. Boy, for a short week, they didn't give me too much to talk about. Next week we'll have a bit more, but with the X-Men event coming, I think there might be a shake-up in the titles, and there'll be a lot less, I think. We'll see.